Hello, my name is Banky. Welcome to What's Your Story with Banky. What's Your Story with Banky? We tend to celebrate champions of development, mentors who in the world where everything seems so upside down, there are still stories that can inspire you to greatness. We're looking for mentors on this platform, stories that can inspire, stories that would outlive this generation. So if you have that stories, not tainted with lies, not embellished with any coloration, real stories that can actually inspire you, that is all we do at What's Your Story with Banky. Welcome to the debut edition of What's Your Story with Banky. This day, we will be sharing the story of Banky, the host of What's Your Story with Banky. Quite interesting, you would say. Let's go along. My name is Banky. Friends call me Banky. I was born over 5 decades ago. I went to St. Patrick's Primary School, Yaba, for my primary education, and then I moved on to CMS Grammar School, where I had my secondary education. And after that, I did my A-levels at the Ogun State Polytechnic, now Moshood Abiola Polytechnic in Ogun State. After I went to Obafemi Awolowo University, where I studied dramatic arts, and I majored in radio, TV, and film production. And after that, I did my master's. I have an MBA in marketing from the University of Calabar. And at some point, I was class of 2009 at the Lagos Business School, where I did my advanced management program. Yes, I studied theatre arts, but today I work in an insurance firm, and I'm the Deputy General Manager, Corporate Communications and Investor Relations. I joined the organization in 2007, and that's what I do for now. What inspired me into having a platform like this? I sat down one day in my office, and I was going through my phone, and I saw some pictures, posts, and everything seemed so morbid. And I felt to myself that, look, everybody is falling into depression one way or the other. People are going through a lot of things in life. But I know that somewhere beneath us, there's always a story that can inspire people. So I said to myself, it was just an idea I was toying with in my head. You know, I thought of different names to come up with. So I just said, look, Banky. Everybody calls me Banky. And I know that I can share stories of people who have gone through a lot in life. And today, they are somebody, not because they engaged in any bad thing, but they stood so solidly behind what they believed in. And let me share my own story. While I was writing my school cert, one of my uncles walked up to me that night. There was no light, so I was reading with a candle. And he walked up to me and said, Sheyi, because those who knew me from birth, they all call me Sheyi. And he said, Sheyi, if you fail this school cert, forget it, nothing for you again. You see, Baba Pako pointed to the carpenter's shop just opposite my grandfather's house there in Akoka. You see, Baba Pako, that's where you're going to do your apprenticeship. You'll be a carpenter. Nobody has any money to pay for you to receive any exam. So that was a bit of a challenge for me. I said, wow, I've not even done this exam. People are already planning my life for me, that I'm going to be a carpenter. I'll end up being a carpenter. So I kept at my study. And when we finally wrote the exams, I was really nervous, sweating when I got to the principal's office in CMS Grammar School. my hands were visibly, all the things I was just hearing in my mind was, Sheyi, carpenter, Sheyi, carpenter. I said, Father Lord. So as I entered, before I even entered, I put F9 beside my math subject. Because, those who knew me then knew math was not anything. So the moment the math teacher walks in, I go the other way around, either through the window or through, we use all the windows in the school to play what we call Okolo then. So, English language, literature in English, Bible knowledge, Yoruba. I was in my mind counting that, okay, maybe I need 5 subjects. Health science, I knew that one, P7. Commerce. So when he said maths, I didn't even allow him to finish math. I just said F9. And he looked at me and said, are you all right? Why did you say F9? I said, sir, I don't know maths. That all I did was I was just OBJ. I was just painting everything, and I painted the old so that I would submit. Then for my theory, I looked at my paper. Will I submit an empty script? So what I did was I copied all the question into my answer sheet so that you think. So when I was going to submit, people were like, Kuruki, that's what they call me in school. Kuruki, math, finish under 1 hour. And you learn more. So I went and I submitted. So the guy just said, maths, P7. If you see the way I jumped out, I had counted all I needed because I wanted to study theater art. So everything was complete. I said, Father, I just went outside, lay on the floor, and I was just rolling. And you know what? I just rushed home and I was looking for my uncle. So that's gone. It was now to move ahead into the next phase. So it was JAM. We used to write JAM then. Because I wanted to read theater arts, and you need to have a second choice. And by the time you're getting your JAM form, you have this awaiting results and all of that. So I needed to slot in my papers. I needed to put in the results to get into the university. So that year, it didn't happen. Mass comm didn't come through. They offered the educational management. I said no. So the next year, I did JAM again. While I was still now doing my A-levels in Ogunpoli. So all through my years in Ogunpoli, I was writing JAM. But there was one thing that didn't change. I wanted to study theater arts because I'd read Soyinka, Olarotimi, and I fell in love. So I thought I was going to be a lecturer at the end of the day, but that didn't happen. So while at that point, I just said to myself, it is either theater arts or nothing. As God will have it, on the 4th try, after I'd even finished my A-levels, I'd worked as a litigation clerk with a law firm then. I now went into Ife. And that was how I studied dramatic arts in Ife, came out with a 2-1. Experiences, so many of them. I remember when I was doing my A-levels in Ogunpoli, about 2 weeks to the exam, I was going to pick up the literature book, because literature then was divided into 3, the prose, drama, and poetry. So that was this book I needed to go and pick up, Tales of the Chaucer, Tales of the Canterbury. It was a Friday night, and it rained that night. So as I was walking on the road, I didn't even know whether, up till date, whether it was a trailer, whether it was a car. All I heard was boom, blackout. And the next thing was, I heard voices, hold him, Edimo. So luckily for me, I was hearing all of that. And I too was saying, Edimo, hold him. So some guy who had seen me during those trips to Ife, when I was pursuing my admission, just said, quiet, you're the one that has been hit by a car. So the moment he said, you're the one that has been hit by a car, that was when I felt all the pain. Everything was horrible from the feeling I was getting. So they took me to my sister-in-law. Well, I call her sister-in-law because she's married to my dad's elder brother, who was late at that time. And because this person was not going to take me to the hospital, you know what she did? She poured iodine on an open wound. All through my back, I screamed the hell out of my life. So it was on a Sunday, because she was a matron to one of those schools in Abeokuta, the one secondary school. So that Sunday, somebody came, and I was just Friday. See, accident happened on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, nothing happened. So it was some guy who came to see his daughter. I was like, whose son is this? I said, he's my late husband's nephew. What happened? He had an accident. So why is he here? Luckily for me, the guy was coming to Lagos. So he took me from Abeokuta to Lagos, where I got to Lagos 2 weeks to the exam. And all I kept saying when I got to the hospital, I was just telling the doctor, I need to go back. I need to go and write my exam. The guy said, shut up. If you had died, will you be thinking about the exam? But you know, all that, I just said, you know what? I'm going to write that exam. So I went back, wrote the exam with cast and all of that, plaster. That ended that episode. Waiting for result to come out to go into the university, it didn't come out on time. So I became a litigation clerk. I was doing, going to file court cases, going for doing affidavit and in the chambers. But you know one interesting thing in life? Never look down on yourself. One of my bosses who owned the chamber, I sat with him on table when I later became the entertainment chairman of Ikoyi Club 1938. We were both in the general committee of Ikoyi Club 1938. So he told them, he said, look, he said it that day, that see, don't ever look down on anybody. Do you know that this man, Banky, used to be my litigation clerk? And now we're there together. So that's one. When I got to the university, because I didn't have anybody to sponsor me. Is it somebody who had told me to become a carpenter that I would go and meet to say I need to pay school fees? So I looked for every opportunity to make money. At every show, I will go to UTC then. It's called the, what's it called? Now, I think we call it quarters. That's the staff quarters. You have the supermarket there. I will go get bread, get egg, and then come and do toast bread. If there was any show, I'll put it under, there is this place in OAU, then under the canopy, and I will sell with my friends. That was how I was making ends meet. At some point in time, it became difficult because shows were banned because of one thing or the other. So it was another struggle for me. My third year, I wrote a long letter. I looked for somebody who was coming to Lagos, and I wrote a long letter. The only person who was sympathetic to my cause at that point in time was my paternal grandfather. So I told him, her in the letter, that I was going to take one leave of absence, that I'm not doing any longer. But he came back, he wrote me a letter, put some 20 naira or so in an envelope, and said, you must continue, don't drop out. Is it the story of when I was painting? I see this wrist. You see this wrist? I actually went to paint in Imo State. I was trying to paint the roof white. I'd finished the roof, the ceiling rather. I'd finished that one. So I was painting the wall. You had this plank. I stood on the plank, and then you had a drum. So as I was painting, the thing just tilted. So in the process of not me allowing the white paint to spill on the blue color wall, I hit my wrist on the drum. And those drums, they will have used it to mix cement and all of that. So it was so bad. This thing I had, and this is a reminder of one of the struggles that each time I look at this wrist, and I say to myself, one day I'll tell the story. It is not all rosy. So I want people to understand the fact that whatever you're going through in life, it can only shapen you and sharpen you for the greater things ahead. Today I sit with noble men, and that's one thing that What's Your Story with Banky tends to encourage. We want to tell stories that can inspire people. It is not all over. The fact that you're an orphan does not mean you cannot be great in life. The fact that your parents do not care about you does not mean you're not going to make it in life. Just keep at it and believe in yourself. What should we be expecting with What's Your Story with Banky? We want to tell real life stories that are not tainted with lies or any embellishment. We guarantee life-changing stories, exclusive stories that can inspire people. With my story, I just want to see how I can galvanize people to doing great things in life too. And I know that there are so many people out there who have very interesting stories to tell. Stories that would, when you listen to them, you would thank God for whatever has happened to you all through life. And I want to use this platform to encourage people to come tell their stories. We need stories like mine, like other great ones, to be told. We need people who somewhere are being unsung, and we want this platform to share such inspiring stories. So, if you have any story to share, please reach out to us on whatsyourstorywithbanky@gmail.com. And for other information, you can look at the information on your screen. Please, we're looking for adverts. We're looking for sponsors. This is the platform. For now, I say, Dabo.